What's happening, people? So we're back to talk about another part two of this subservient behavior from African people. I witnessed it when I was inside my workplace, so that's my take on it. But I've noticed that there was a lot of other people in the comment section which made really good comments, and we spoke about things which were like, behavior from back in Africa, which is obviously translated into behavior, which people are doing now in England, which I see myself in it. I just think as a race, when people see black people, yeah, they just see the color. They don't know if you're from Africa. They don't know if you're from this or that place. All they do know is they know that your skin's black. That's all they know. So they're always going to put us all in one fucking basket, yeah? So that's why I say that having these conversations amongst each other, and especially online with different communities clocking into my content, which I'm very appreciative of. We're up to 8,000 views on that video, and that video has only been up for 8 days. That's 1,000 people watching it every single day. Do go and watch that, because I will link it in the description box to this video, right? But what I'm here to say is that we're all going to learn something off each other when we talk about our experiences. Do you understand? Like, my experiences in life with people who are African haven't all been bad. They haven't all been, oh, you got this little like masterman's mentality, or you're a little field person or whatever. No, it hasn't always been that. So my thing is, from the beginning of the video, was not to disrespect black people. You understand? Because I'm a black man myself, and people of color, they love to get disrespected online. That's not my MO. My MO is dealing with some internal problems, which we all know we have, but we move away from because other things are going on in life. But these things are still going to reoccur and keep on happening. So how do we deal with them? We deal with them by having some type of discussion at the beginning. Do you understand? We ain't going to get nowhere as adults here unless we talk about stuff. And me telling people more in detail, like where those people are from, how old they were, did kind of play a little play on it, because if you didn't know, and you do have to listen to the first video to understand what I'm talking about, which is I had a scenario with some people at work. People asked me, where did they come from and how old they were, yeah? So I told them where they came from, a Pacific place. They were Nigerian guys, yeah? Right, but that doesn't make it any better or worse. People just wanted to know why. I didn't really understand why, but I didn't understand why it fucking mattered. But anyway, I told them. I also told them how old they were as well. They were in their 40s, so 46, 45. So that's the type of generation and mindset who I'm talking to and engaging with. And again, I can't tell you that everything was negative, because there was some definitely positive stuff going on for them in their own life, which they told me about, them building properties back home where they live and stuff like that. But having to go through the hard ache and the problems which they do face, because of, you got a lot of people who were willing to exploit them, yeah? And when I say willing to exploit them, I made another video which was about people working illegally, yeah? And that was like the first time I'm witnessing it close enough to say, right, it's you, yeah? Fucking hell. I didn't know. But what I saw and what I clocked at that present time was people profiting off those African people who are working like that. And again, I had to kind of like take 2 minutes and a breather to think, people really fucking do this. People really let people start working, work underneath them, give me a certain amount of hours from your hours, then I make money from it. Then, like, isn't that slavery? Isn't that people trafficking, or whatever it's called? It's definitely not legal, and it's not legal for a reason. That's why people ask you if you got the right to work and stuff like that, because If you haven't got the right to work, you shouldn't be working at the end of the day. It's the law, innit? You know, as much as maybe one of my young days, I've not followed the law and all that. Nah, today, I pay fucking tax. I'm on the internet, so I'm always going to tell you how it is. I'm never going to tell you how it should be. You understand? But what I'm saying is just that it was like a mind-blowing moment to say that fucking hell, people still do this ruthlessly in people's face, knowingly that they could get caught, knowingly that they just don't give a fuck. They don't care. And that to me kind of made me say, "Rah, you don't even know what type of people who do this type of thing is." Like, if I showed you that the individuals, you'd think, oh, this little cleaning lady, she's a nice person, blah, 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 blah. She's the one who's taxing them. That's how real it is. She's taxing them. So it's like, rah, this is a fucked up scenario to be around or to be anywhere near to, because you understand what's going on. And because I understood what's going on, that was the main focus and reason to get away from that type of situation. Somebody asked me, oh, you made this video when you was at work. Yeah, I did make the video when I was at work. And they said, oh, you was doing painting. I want to explain that as well. If someone asks me to paint a hallway, yeah, for £1,000, yeah, and I know it's going to take me 2 days, why the fuck would I not do it? I'm here working in life to make money, not working for any other reason, my guy. And that's out to you in the comment section, because that person put that and I thought, that's hella dumb. Because again, if someone told me to cut down some trees in their back garden, they were going to give me 2 grand, I'd go and do it. I don't have any problem with working, and I don't. My channel is about me working, but my channel is also about people understanding the levels of life where people are at right now. Don't want to digress too much, right? Back onto the topic, what we're talking about, which is the video which I put up and the responses which I got from some of the individuals. I appreciate everyone clicking that subscribe button, and that subscribe has been counting up and up and up. But some of you lot are not subscribed, and some of you lot have liked the video. I think I had over, there's 250 likes on that video. Appreciate if you go and like this video. I know it's an ARX. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you nothing to subscribe to my channel neither. So I would definitely appreciate it if you guys did subscribe, because if you watch the content, it takes time for me to do, but I enjoy doing it because I'm able to put out good quality content for you, right? So just subscribe and like the video. I'd appreciate that. Again, like it, go on. It's not too much to ask. There you go. Had to say it a couple of times, but we got there in the end. Right. What I'm saying to people is just that I've understood that a lot of people have a different perspective of life, and when they meet people and the things what they go through. As adults, no matter where you come from in the world, you generally sometimes block out your childhood or the things which were not so good in life. And I understand some of these people have been through scenarios which are not so good in life. You understand? So there's a lot of things which they block out or choose to not pick up on or not choose to bring in their adult life from their childhood, right? But I'm a self-learning person, and I can only say for myself. I can't speak for others. It's a stupid thing to do. I can sit back in the room and watch and read the room, yeah? And not speak so much, but understand what the fuck is going on in here. And when I see that, and I'm in rooms with some African men and they're operating how they operate, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have any problem with that. But I do have a problem with some of the kissing the arse vibe and all that. That kissing arse, telling people you must be thankful, grateful, and all that. At the same time, if you must be thankful, grateful, those people who are in reverse of you being thankful and grateful for must be the same for you. And if they're not giving you the same type of energy what you're giving them, it's not always a fair balance. I get it. We don't always give to receive, before you even say that. But I feel that a lot of black people are so respectful when they leave their house, yeah, to others, yeah. They forget to have some level of respect for themselves sometimes. And I say that with some of them African people who I've spoke to and who I've come across. I feel that sometimes they don't leave enough in the jar. Well, this is a glass, but enough respect in this glass for themselves. Do you get what I mean? I understand people got a job and people got a position and a role to play. When you're a father, when you're a dad, when you're a mum, you know, having little arguments at work, what's going to fuck up your money? It ain't worth it. That's the truth. We know that. But it ain't worth having a really hard life and being oppressed and being put down and being treated like a slave in some degree, or in others degrees like a low level person, like a peasant and all that. No one deserves to be treated like that. We are in the time of 2025 now. People should want a better life for themselves, not just because they see others glamorize it and, you know, like if you work hard, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. Not like that. As in, these people come here to work for themselves so they can send money back to their country or do whatever they want to do or is needed to do with that money, which is understandable. When you're on a different goal to be able to get money, yeah, for sole purpose, yeah, you move with a different type of spirit when it comes to your P's. When I'm on my P's and Q's, no one ain't fucking with me for money because I'm not playing about. When I tell people that I want the money, I mean I want the money now. I'm being dead serious with them. But it's allowing me to start to understand why obviously these people are trying to operate on this type of frequency or vibration, which is a one which I'm still struggling to understand, you know, I'll be honest with you, because again, I said it at the beginning of the video, when a lot of people see one black person, yeah, or 4 black people standing up in it, they obviously think that all of you lot are from the same place. And I've had that through and through in my life when I go places, you understand? People ask me questions and they're wanting to know my identity, like where are you from? Are you African? Are you Caribbean? Are you da-da-da-da? I'm black. That's it. You don't need to know anything more. It's not necessary. I don't want to hear that you've been to this country or something like that, because it doesn't matter to me, because I'm here right now, innit? And if I don't want my race to be part of the conversation. But you have many educated African people who have been able to drop comments on that post, which for me is very interesting, because for everyone who watched the video, they will know that I'm not disrespecting people, because that's not my MO. My MO is not to see another black man and say, boy, you are my problem, you know? Me and you got a problem. Nah, man. No. Me and you probably got more in common than what you think. Me and you should probably link up. Me and you should probably just be brethren. Me and you could cut a change one day if you're on things like I'm on things. Do you understand? That's what I'm on. I understand that everybody doesn't share that same energy with each other, but I would more likely be on that than be on let's go and have an argument, or let's talk about who is the blacker man, because that is a conversation which I do want to have at some point as well, because I saw a lot in the comment section, which was a lot of people debating about why Africans and Caribbeans don't get along and stuff like that. I think that whole mindset thing is a dumb man's mentality. Remember, we all say dumb things because we don't know in the first place. The amount of dumb things that I hear from even my own community, you know, to think that Caribbeans have got a problem with Africans or Africans have got a problem with Caribbeans is stupid. You know, we are all black people, first of all. I couldn't give a fuck if anybody feels that they're better than the other, because you're not. Nobody is. We're all the same. We just come from different places. Yeah. And I have witnessed people feel as if they are a little bit better. I'm original because I'm from African. I'm from Africa. You don't know about these things. They're African things. Why could I not know? Is it because I don't have the internet? Is it because I don't know how to use it? Is it because I'm illiterate? Big man, never judge a book by its cover. Your father told you this when you got something wrong before. I will tell you this now when you're getting a situation confused or misconstrued. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people, they get this misconstrued perception about first generation Caribbean people, which is myself at the end of the day. You know, I'm not, my grandparents come from Windrush time. You understand? So that's how my grandparents come to England. So my dad was born in Barbados. I've said this to people before, but I have a different type of understanding about history. Not just because I've heard it online, is because I asked my own family what it was like. You know, I've met nurses. So I used to know this woman called Elena, and she came over in the 70s from Jamaica to do nursing here. I asked her a question before she passed away, which was, maybe I think she passed away about four years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. I asked her, because I was in an interracial relationship, yeah, but this person had a problem with black people, right? This is a Turkish person, but just for concept, yeah. I said to her, do you ever feel that racism will change or it's got worse or better? And she goes, it's probably about the same since the 70s. And this was like in only 4 years ago. So 2020, what's the year now? 2020. It was only 4 years ago. So it's 2024, right? So, because we're in 5. So I was like, wow. And that's someone who's lived life, innit? So I thought to myself, fuck, you know, like some things, they might not change in your lifetime. So, but it's about what you do about it. She always spoke to me about her brother, but Bert's definitely still alive today. And he's from Bristol, but he's done so much things for the black culture in Bristol. And I was always inspired by speaking to him because he told me so many wisdomful things to do with black people. And yeah, man, the man had he's got a really good energy. So I had this like kind of thirst for like learning some stuff, not from just meeting those people, but that just like ignited it a little bit more. So I thought to myself, if I ever have a platform, I'm going to speak about stuff which I know is important for my generation, but also for others, and just how people like myself feel, because I'm not alone, because I know I'm not alone because I see how many people comment. If I was alone, there wouldn't be people commenting in the way they do. And to have 250 or 500 people comment on black issues, which I put up online, I'm thankful, because I'm not the ambassador, but I'm someone who's got a fucking voice and someone that will talk out, and that's not on BS. So that's why people are subscribing in this high rate, which I appreciate, because sometimes you need people to tell you the fucking truth. And the truth isn't what you want to hear all the time, but it's reality, man. Reality is something what we all run from, because if you're told how things are, you kind of have to deal with them at some point. You can't just keep running. Like, we can't just keep running from the idea or the understanding that there is that subservient behavior within Black African people. And there also is it in Caribbean people as well. But I've said that before. But because I labeled it as subservient and not the other word which I used on another one, which was, I posted a video about Black Uncle Toms, yeah? And I told people, yeah, I have an Uncle Tom who's like that. And the Uncle Tom thing is really the version what the Caribbeans would say about Caribbeans instead of calling them subservient, if you get what I mean. Subservient's more for like, oh, this is a news report. There's a subservient person missing on the run doing subservient stuff. Look, it's not all jokes when you talk about issues which are hard hitting, innit? It's hard to always just be real with people and just be like, look, this is what's fucking up the community. This is what's allowing us to be at the bottom of the barrel. This is what other people see of us or as an example. Do you understand what I mean? So there might be some Nigerian people working at a workplace, and some people will never ever go to Nigeria, but their understanding of Nigeria is that person who they work with. That's how deep life is. People are that simple. You have to understand that. Like, I done a job for a lady, yeah, and I'm gonna tell you a story. I done a job for a lady, yeah, and she owned an African takeaway shop, yeah. She called me and said, I need a plumber. So I've turned up to the place. She was late by 45 minutes. I was there. I wasn't in a hurry, a rushy mood. I just thought, let me just wait around. This lady sounds like she's distressed. Black lady. I could see a WhatsApp picture. Not that I look at people's WhatsApp picture, but I could see. And I said, all right, cool. Because she sent me the address through WhatsApp. That's what made me look on it. I didn't just go and search. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that little freaky boy. So anyway, waiting for her, she's turned up. She said to me, I've had to turn off the water upstairs because we've had a flood. I said, okay. You said you've got a blocked toilet, right? So I went to go and have a look. I bought a plunger. She was like, I'm so happy that you're a young black man. And she was an African lady. And she goes, oh, I'm going to get my son to do like plumbing or some type of construction just like yourself. I said, oh, okay, that's nice. There's a college which is round the corner, which is called Cornell. Used to work there. College is a shithole, by the way. But anyway, I went and had a look, looked at the job, and I said, look, this is the problem, blah, 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 blah. The place was like a crack house upstairs. She rented out these two properties upstairs and her shop was downstairs. Basically, the upstairs had a toilet, but the toilet was installed wrongly, and the way it would build up and it would actually run across the ceiling of the shop. So inside the shop, yeah, you'd have a pipe which runs across, and all that pipe was blocked up with waste, with shit, basically, and that poured down into the restaurant. So I said to her, she needs to get it cameraed and she needs to get it unblocked, but she needs to get it installed correctly because it was going around the bend. I'd done a video on my page, but I just didn't really fucking talk about it. Anyway, so I said to this lady, she would need to get these people in. I gave her someone's number, blah, 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 blah. I did tell her that she would need to pay me for my time. What she'd done, and I give the benefit of the doubt to a lot of people when I go to their properties, is I can make them pay me there and then when I'm on it. Just give them my bank details, tell them to send it straight away. I said, I'm going to send you my invoice because I've been here now for, I think it was about 2.5 hours I was there for, because I even paid for parking as well. So I know because I've got the parking receipt for it. So she just ducked me and didn't answer my calls. Did I expect that? No. Do I think that she done that on purpose? Possibly. I don't really know. I try not to think about it anymore because it gets me kind of fucking mad. But I don't take my that problem or that thing what I have and spread it onto any other African women at all. It's got nothing to do with them. That was a one scenario, one situation was happened, but it doesn't allow me to look at any other African women or men in any other way, because I separate that situation within, that's that one person that was moving like a fool and thinking that I won't pop back up to their shop, because I will. You know me. Where's the jollof at? Where's the rice? Actually, come get my cash from the other side of the till, woman, quickly, please, before I have to start move up certain pots and pans inside the kitchen. Yeah, please. What I'm saying to you is just that the scenarios and the situations which we all do go through at different points in life, yeah, they shouldn't like make us look at other people with the side eye or look at them disrespectfully, because it's not necessary. I can't never clump a certain type of people together and just generalize them, because they're all fucking different. Do you know what I mean? Everyone is all different. Like, we all have seen someone kissing ass at work. We've all seen someone being overly flexible, like a police boy for anybody at work. Oh, you know, you came in late. Oh, you said this and that person said that. You get people that are like that. You definitely do. And it's just an understanding to say that we all just don't share the same type of mindset, and which is fine. It's fine for us to be individuals, you know. It's fine for us not to think on the same frequency. Everyone isn't going to think like how I'm thinking. Every black person doesn't accept me as a black person because I think like that. They think like themselves. I might be walking along the street and I might give someone a head nod who's black, and they might not give me a head nod. Happens. It's life. We keep it moving. We keep it pushing. I don't turn around and say that person's an idiot. I just keep it pushing. What else can you do at the end of the day? You've got to allow people to just be themselves, man, and you be yourself. I think what I've learned from this interaction with everybody online is that systemically we might be suffering from a level of depression when it comes to mindset. I think our mindset does play a big role on how we view each other, because if we all shared the same mindset, I think we would understand where we are when it comes to the amount of people, like, and our force as a collective group, as black people all over the world. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, I'm glad that I lived to see it in like that George Floyd time, yeah, because that allowed a lot of people all around the world to realize that we've got this connection to each other, no matter where we are, because a certain level of injusticeness and a certain level of that has to stop now. And that was good to see that momentum. But like any momentum, you got to understand someone has to profit off of it. And someone was profiting off of it big time, and it wasn't no one black, which was not surprising. Again, the most exploited people going about is us lot. I'll be honest with you. Exploit you for your culture, bare things, man. I've known that growing up, and I've realized it. So when people are in this mindset of subservient behavior, of rating white people really highly and talking to other black people disrespectfully and saying, you know, you need to be good around these people, you need to be thankful that these people gave you a job. A one man's style is subjective. Do you understand? His style of how he does something is subjective in the way how he likes to move. I can't always say that I share those same views, because it's not because I'm not respectful. It's because I'm a person who is an individual. You know, I don't need to share the same mindset as everybody. Every man has to start following, or every woman has to start following before they start leading. I maybe adopted a certain style in my early 20s, but now I'm in my 30s and I've seen a few things. I don't have to subscribe to that nonsense. I don't have to look at that and say that's something that I need to do for myself. Is to get myself in there, is to be like this. There's some part of life which I've accepted, which is about accepting yourself. When you accept who you are, yeah, you no longer have to start pleasing other people. You live for yourself. And I probably live for myself because I'm at a certain point in my life. But living to please others is never been something on my list to do. I've obviously done things by doing people proud. Don't be stupid. I've done all of that. And I've understood the impact of that as well. But I've understood the impact of how we're viewed as Black people in the workplace and in that field, like how we will be exploited. Like, I've been to enough places and I've never seen like high up Black bosses, CEOs, managers, and all that. I obviously work in a predominantly white industry, but who's the fucking boss? Who's the owner? Who's the director? But this is why I have my own company and stuff like that, because, you know, there's so many things that people want to tear you down for not having in society. Like, for some of us, when we're trying to build, building back home is one of the first options. It's not building where you are, because this might not be a place for you. And I get it, you might have to play a certain character until you get the P's so you can move back and so you can do your thing. It might be like, look, you had to do it for 15 years. Cool. That's your plan. I ain't knocking you. I ain't mad at you neither. I'm just a person who says, you know, what I see. I say it how I see it. I don't say it how people would like me to please others. I just have to keep it fucking real at the end of the day. There's too much people chatting shit, you know that. And I think some of the awkward conversations what I have, I'm proud of myself, because it's not like I'm acting out a character. It's not like I'm telling you some wild, facetious story, or I'm coming on here with a level of animosity or hate towards people, because I ain't got time for that neither. I've understood a long time ago that other Black people are not my enemy or problem. And a lot of people are not my enemy or problem, not just Black, a lot of other races. Again, we're not the same. I'm not comparing myself to anybody else, or I'm not trying to say that I'm better or any worse. I'm saying that we're just not doing that, innit? I don't do that. I'm grown. I've got time for that shit. But I will call out and stand up for behavior and situations which I see that unfold in front of me and people can learn from, because people can learn that in society we're not actually up there and respected in the ways where we should be. And sometimes it's due to behavior. It's not all of that, because there's way more things on that. Economically, we're not at places. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Possibly I could do a video on something like that. But if we're trying to move like a unit, we got to start thinking like a fucking unit. When we don't think like a unit, we're not going to be able to conquer anything. Because that's how people win the wars and all that, is you start moving like a unit. You start moving simultaneously. You help each other. I watch all types of creators on YouTube, Me and my partner started watching a guy called, what is his name? Tech Informer, African guy. And he's actually, by watching his videos, he actually taught me how to go live on my channel. Not like just going through the process and doing it, and how much it would help my channel. And I've had 12,000 views from a live. I'm not gonna lie. So me learning off of everybody and anybody, that's a thing that I would tell everybody. Of course I do. Who doesn't? You know, I'm not that type of person to lock myself up into one type of thing and be like, oh, I only fuck with Caribbeans. I only talk to Caribbean people. No, brother, no way. Talking to bare different people to get perspectives, to have an understanding, to know a little bit more, to level up in life. Each one teach one. You could be a shepherd. You could be a shepherd, or you could be a sheep. But I think you have to learn your craft before you start jumping on. And I think that it's important that we communicate more with each other, you know, as young black people and even older, because different generations see things differently. They see things through their own eyes. They see things through their own experiences. They're living and have lived in the time and still tried to change things for people for the better. And sometimes it's worked and sometimes it's not worked. But while I've got energy, I'll always try and give a little bit more for people, because someone needs to be a supporter, man. I'm a supporter of all black people. Say that every fucking day if I feel like it. Big supporter. Yeah, so if you're black, interesting conversation. I keep on having these types of conversations because I've realized that the community is bigger than just my plumbing, but it can also incorporate some of that as well. So I definitely advise you guys to check out some of my other videos as well. And I know it's nice to speak about interesting topics like this, but my other videos need some fucking views as well. So I'd appreciate it if you go onto them and give them a little like and subscribe as well. But today was Subservient Part 2. I hope that I've got a lot more African viewers that are tuned in to the conversations and listening up for the lives. Make sure you guys subscribe. Drop where you're from, man. Let's see if we could get some people from different places saying where they're from in the comment section below. And again, I will pin that other video, which is at 8,000 views at the moment, in the comment section below, so you can go and check it out. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Big man, I'm gonna see you out on the other side. Peace.